You're listening to Comedy Central.
Welcome to the Jim Jefferies Show podcast. We did not have an episode of the Jim Jefferies Show this week, but we are just doing a podcast for the hell of it. And you know we didn't do an episode. You want to know why? Everyone's sober.
Everyone, you?
Yeah. Everybody's sober. There's no drunk people in the corner. There's no people. There's no one visiting us.
Yeah.
All we have is Nicole and Jack, and you know.
It's also a Thursday.
It is a Thursday. We're recording on a Thursday. So what we'll start off is, as we always do on the Jim Jefferies Show podcast, I advertise my knickknacks. Jim Jefferies' upcoming tour dates. Speak about myself in the third person from now on. June 23rd and 24th at the Casino Rama in Ramalama Ding Dong, Ontario, Canada. So if you live in Ramalama Ding Dong or in the Ding Dong district, then come along. July 13th at North Alberta Jubilee Auditorium in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada. July 15th at TCU Place in Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, Canada.
It sounds like made-up places, Canada.
I'm doing a lot of good stuff in Canada.
Saskatoon, Saskatchewan? That didn't
I like going to Canada because I can do all my old jokes because I haven't got TV there yet.
No, you do stuff from your first special.
I love you, Canada. Yeah. Love you, Canada.
Yeah, they love you.
I do. I'm a big fan of the Canadians. I procreated with one of you people.
Yeah.
I had a baby with a Canadian.
One of you people. All right. Hey, by the way, you didn't do your theme song.
Oh, okay. This is the Jim Jefferies Show. It's like a show, but it's not the radio. It's a podcast.
That was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that. That might be one of the top ones.
Yeah. Sober Jim can really write a tune.
A few people, by the way, have already sent us their like remix versions of our show theme song, and we've played, I think, one or two on here. And we want to hear more, so we will be uploading the theme song to our Twitter, and you can make your own like remix and do whatever you want to, and send it back, and we'll play it on the podcast. And it will be fun. All right. Hey, we have a guest
Kirshen's
joining
here.
us right now.
Hey, everyone.
Just flew in. One of the writers on the Jim Jefferies Show has been in the podcast before, Matt Kirshen.
Hey, guys.
He's British.
I am. Did I miss the adverts? Did I miss the...
Oh, no, we did. I promoted my shows at Ramalama Ding Dong.
Yeah, I don't think we have any advertising today. No, it's
advertising free day. I just want to say, even though it's an advertising free day, use Imodium and shave your back with a back shaver. That's always a good idea.
When we were on this short hiatus, I had to fly, and I actually had to buy Imodium again, and I was like, why aren't they? They're so good. Out to them. Yeah.
They're so good. I should
have an 800 number on the side in case you have more questions about diarrhea.
I should have crates of.
It feels almost like, as a product, they want to distance themselves from explosive shitting.
like we're like all for it. No.
It's like they have to kind of pretend that that's not what they're for.
Oh, you know what it is? We're giving them free advertising, so why would they pay for it? We have to stop talking about them. We have to stop talking about their competitors.
I just want to mention, I went to my son's graduation, right? It's not real. It's not a real graduation. It's preschool, right?
Right. All he literally had to do was sort of not die.
No, he's not. Yeah, he's not Doogie Howser. It's not like none of the kids are really nailing it. Anyway, so they all sang a song about the poo emoji, and they held up the poo emojis that they'd coloured in. I thought, how school has changed. I would have gotten in trouble for that.
Yeah, that was like their big thing to present to the parents.
They did several songs, but they were talking about how they learn about the human body, and there's like food goes in the mouth, then it goes into the stomach, then it goes through the esophagus, then it goes down through the small colon, then the large colon, then it comes out, and then they just pulled out their coloured in pictures of poo.
Wow.
And I'm like, that's a real graduation.
If you cut out the middle 4 steps, then that's the advert for Imodium.
I tell you, preschool graduation, man, parents are crying.
Oh, so
really? Is it just a big like, oh, my kids grown up?
There's a lot of like pictures of memories and like, you got a friend in something, not in me, in someone else. We can't afford that song, can we?
So where is he off to now? What's the next first?
College.
Yeah, that's good. No, kindergarten, right?
Yeah, they sang some songs. I always think when I see the kids sing songs, I go, this is around the age that Michael Jackson first started hitting. None of the kids in his school are really pulling it off like Michael Jackson did. There's no talent there.
I mean, come on. He's a once-in-a-lifetime talent.
Do you
He's a
reckon-
child molester. But
Oh, wow, controversial.
Hey. What do you reckon his talent show was like, though, as a kid? It would have been just irritating.
Oh, yeah.
Just any of the other... All right, the Jackson 5 are getting up then, are they? It was the whole school. It was all of them. They all would have been at school together as well.
some kid struggling on a clarinet before that.
Yeah. One guy's just doing his one magic trick, and then the whole Jackson 5 just go out with perfect Motown symmetry.
Danny Bonaducci tells a story about going to school with the Jackson 5. Danny Bonaducci from the Partridge Family.
Oh, right, yeah.
Who's now a radio host, I believe, and sort of like a grizzled sort of red-headed man. But he went to school in a famous school with all the famous kids, with all the Jackson 5. And one time Michael Jackson was sort of like not hitting on the girl that he liked, but was saying things like, you don't need to go out with him. He's not a good guy. You know what I mean? Like he was doing a bit of that. And so Bonaducci got out in the school courtyard and he stood in front of the classroom. He said, you come out here right now, Jackson. I'm going to kick your fucking ass. And then he goes, I forgot I went to school with all the Jacksons. He says, that Tito's a big cunt, man. All right.
So, hey, last week you've been promoting this on the podcast for a while now. You were at Clusterfest.
I was at Clusterfest. We had a great time at Clusterfest. Thank you, Comedy Central, for having us.
It was fun.
It was a fun festival. I was a bit skeptical going up there because I didn't quite know what was going on. I didn't know that I was playing outdoors in a courtyard.
Which is generally not a good idea.
You did 3 shows. You did one indoors in a huge venue, the Bill Graham Civic Auditorium, which is massive.
I did like a big auditorium, and then I did like the outdoor
4 in
thing.
the afternoon.
Tiffany Haddish said to me, she felt like she was Martin Luther King because there was like a government house at the end, and then there was like a big.
Yeah, I think it's like City Hall. I think that's City Hall. That's right there. You're facing towards. It's all lit up, and there's like thousands of people in front.
Yeah,
of you.
it did feel like I was really doing some protest thing.
Yeah,
but I was just talking about my kid shitting himself or whatever I talk about these days.
This is a kind of protest.
Yeah.
You were also making fun of the fact that all these homeless people live in that park that we were. They
got rid of it.
Like gated it off, and they were all outside of it. Like, what the fuck? Like,
Sorry, buddy, you don't have a wristband.
for 3 days, so we had fun in there. But yeah, with the outdoor. But yeah, we were both kind of lamenting that. I mean, obviously, like
it's fun to do festivals like that, especially those little short ones, because very rarely people always ask if you're friends with different comics, and you are friends with different comics, but you don't get to see many people, especially if you're a theatre actor yourself, because you're always working by yourself.
In America, that happens, I think, even earlier. Like in Britain, for a long time, like headliners will be on the bill together because they do much more mixed bills. But in America, pretty much the moment you get into the clubs, it's MC feature headliner. So headliners never see other headliners.
Yeah, you never see other headliners. So it's very rare. You might see them down at the Improv or something like that. But it was good. I bumped into a lot of fun people. I chatted to the Schumer, met her husband. He seemed like a nice fella.
Bridget Everett was
there.
On fire.
Yeah,
she was like
she never isn't.
She was like she did a thing. She did stand up too, but she did this thing with her band. She was on right before you.
She was a hard act to follow.
Yeah, and then there was a DJ in between her and when I was going to come up that also sang with the music and was really good. And then they're like, and Forrest Shaw, and everyone's like, who the fuck is this? And I just like Trump out there, like, they're like, where's Jim Jefferies?
Yeah. We're gonna put the party on hold for a few minutes for the comedy stylings of Forrest Shaw.
I was like, everything was fun until right now, and I was just like, I'm fat.
Everyone stop having the best time ever. It's Forrest.
I don't know if you want to talk about that.
What?
At the top there.
Oh, yeah, I got to talk about that. So Comedy Central took me out to dinner.
I was there too, yeah.
Yeah, they took us both out to dinner. It was very nice. We just landed. We're in San Francisco. Wanted to have a good night out, maybe see some comedy. There was some big acts on that we wanted to see. Lonely Island. I wanted to see Lonely Island. That's what I wanted to see.
We planned on seeing him still after dinner.
Yeah, we were going to see him. So we went in for dinner. And Adam Londi, who is the executive who takes care of the Jim Jefferies show at Comedy Central, he took us to a restaurant where he said, you have to try the chicken. This is the best chicken. Now, I don't often order chicken in restaurants because I feel like I can just get a good chicken at Ralph's.
60 minutes, by the way. You had to wait for this chicken.
Yeah, no,
ordered 60 minutes
on the menu it said it takes 60 minutes.
Okay, so this wasn't just them being slow. This was a pre-designated hour.
Yeah.
long wait.
An hour-long wait for the chicken. So we ordered 2 chickens for the table
in advance, though. We supposed to order
in advance, and then we got some starters for when we think the chicken took.
Oysters were good.
The oysters were tremendous.
Some good starters. Yeah, there was
the chicken took 3 hours.
something. Yeah,
Are you serious?
Then when it came, it was 3 hours. 3 hours. Then when it came, it was just all right. It was just like, and there was such a build up of it as well. There was such a build up, like fucking, this chicken, and then we ate it, and then like Monica turns to me and she goes, "It's all right, right?"
Yeah.
Right?
The second one, to be fair, was better, but the first one.
But it was just fucking chicken.
But the best part of it was the bread salad underneath it. There was
bread salad underneath. I'm on a salad diet. It was just like a whole lot of different sized croutons covered in gravy.
It was really good. But you could see, like, I don't think panic's the right word, but you could tell that they were kind of like, the longer it dragged on, they knew that you were going to be like...
Yeah, I'm not a patient man, and I do take pride in busting Adam Londi's balls.
Well, I also don't think there's any meal... Like, there's good, but I can't even think of the standard of food something would have to be to make it justify sitting on your ass for 3 hours.
If you can find Adam Londi on Twitter, write to him, "Where's my fucking chicken?" That'll be a fun thing.
You can see when it came to the table, we were like, well, this is... If it would have came out 10 minutes or 15 minutes, or even like 30 minutes after, you would have been like, all right, it was pretty good. But it was just the long...
If it still had its head on it or something exciting, but it was just chicken.
If they had to wait for it to hatch.
Yeah.
We had to take it, raise it for a couple of weeks, bring it back. All right, Chester.
We've got it under the red lamp right now, and we think any time now.
Yeah, it really was like that. It was like it was cooked in an easy bake oven. Like, it just took so long.
Just the heat of a single light bulb.
But we were all like, this isn't good. This chicken's all right. Like, it was good chicken, but it was just chicken. There was no special sauce or anything. It was just a roast chicken. And then, but we did that thing that when the waiter comes up, and like they're very proud of the chicken there, right? Yeah. And when the waiter, we're all going, "This is shit." And then when the waiter comes up, "So how's the meal?" "Oh, great chicken."
The chicken, particularly.
Yeah, why did we do that? We should have been like, "What the fuck?"
Okay, yeah,
It's worth every one of the 180 minutes we sat here.
I missed Lonely Island. There was something else I wanted to see.
No, we
Third Eye Blind or something was on
we
there.
ended up catching the end of T-Pain because I guess T-Pain wanted to go on earlier in the day, so he came on later in the night, and then he was talking in the third person when we got there. He goes, "T-Pain needs to perform for more like, I don't know what he was saying.
I don't know what T-Pain was. There was a lot of shows on there that I didn't quite know what I was watching, but I had a good time.
It was fun. There was a lot of... You also did the This Is Not Happening with...
I also did like a load of interviews, and I did like a panel with Rachel Feinstein and Nikki Glaser and Sam Morrell. And I think I put my foot in it a little bit. I talked too much about Samantha Bee and the feckless cunt comments. And I gave my opinion a little bit too sturdy.
Were you pro or anti the word cunt?
Yeah, I was pro the word cunt. I just said she shouldn't have fucking apologized. And I said she didn't she didn't mean it. But that, like, when you heard me saying it, I don't think it was as harsh as... in print, she didn't fucking mean it. Like, it just seemed like I was really angry about the thing.
I've had that before, where in an interview, and it's a print interview, and I've sworn a lot because I knew the interviewer, and I was just being colloquial and chatting and swearing. Yeah. And then she put in every swear word in the article. And I was like, I don't sound horrendous.
Yeah. I sound better than I read. And I also read worse than I sound.
Yeah, you don't read well at all. In no capacity do you read well at all. Yeah, it's I did I don't know, is this coming out today?
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing with this podcast when, like, normally we do it about the show, so we have something to talk about. We didn't prepare. We don't have anything to talk about.
We could still talk about what's going on in the news if you want.
We talk about what's going on. Trumpy's gone over and visited Kim Jong-un in Singapore.
Yeah, do you have a story about that?
I was on mushrooms when I was on mushrooms.
Wait, let me just read keep talking. Let me read the text that.
Yeah,
that you sent.
all right. So I was on mushrooms, and I was watching the TV.
And basically I said,
Forrest got me the mushrooms.
Yeah.
That's the backstory.
I go, how's it going? And you go, great, the mushrooms are awesome. And I go, oh, sweet, you're on them now. How much did you take? And then you just go, am I okay? 3 question marks. And then you said, is my life okay? And I was like, what? I was like, yeah, your life's great. What do you mean? You have a television show? I mean, blah, 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 this and that. And then so I just picked up the phone and called you, and you go, I just saw Dennis Rodman in a MAGA hat crying on CNN.
It did. It fucked with my head. I'm like, what's going on?
So you had to be like, we all saw that, Jim.
Yeah. I didn't. I was on mushrooms watching him going. I knew this day would come. I told you all. Like that. And I'm like, what's Dennis Rodman doing? Now we did.
I told you. I was like, I'm sober, and I saw that, and that was weird. Just turn off the television right now. You can't.
We did it. We did a thing. We did a joke on the show where we said Dennis Rodman, like Donald Trump should contact Dennis Rodman. It would be unprofessional of him.
Yeah, irresponsible.
Irresponsible if he didn't. And we were half joking, but no, it turned out we were right. Dennis Rodman was a key piece.
We've actually reposted it. Yeah, the digital department reposted the clip on Facebook and I think Instagram and Twitter. The whole thing that we said. So yeah, you were the one that.
Yeah, but the MAGA hat was the one that spammed me out. Also, it's very
did you
jarring.
Think like the world was ending or something? Or?
I just didn't know what was happening. I thought something, just to see Dennis Rodman crying. I was on so many drugs that I wanted to give him a hug or something, but I was also kind of scared of him because of the hat.
Going to be like, bring me Dennis Rodman for comforting.
Yeah. And I thought, is it Dennis Rodman I'm looking at, or is it a different person that my brain has made into Dennis Rodman?
Because I do normally see Dennis Rodman when I'm on mushrooms.
Because I'm with Dennis Rodman.
It is funny, like, when you're on drugs, like, one little thing like that will mess up your entire universe of, like, perception of reality, where you're just like, is this real? Like, as soon as it was like, you were like, yeah, this is fine. Literally the next text, am I okay? Like what's happened in 5 seconds?
Yeah, no, I was a bit spaced out with the Dennis Rodman. They were good mushrooms. I've still got a few left, so maybe in the next podcast.
Right after the show.
Yeah, right after the show.
As the show's closing on the line when you're taking photos, just start eating them.
Yeah, just every 5 minutes you hear me going, what back scratcher? That's a back shaver. I fucked that joke up. So the World Cup, we're all excited about the World Cup.
Yep, starts today.
Started today, early this morning. Russia thumped Saudi Arabia. The vital game.
Oh, the battle of the 2 nicest countries in the world.
There was a picture. I don't know if you call him a sheikh or who's the head of Saudi Arabia.
I should know this, but I don't.
You mean
a prince.
a sheik?
The prince.
Is he a sheik, a prince, or a king?
Sheikh, how you say it in Australia?
Sheikh? Yeah, sheikh.
I don't know.
I'd say sheikh as well.
Sheikh or prince. Yeah. He races falcons. We know that.
Yeah. Him and
Falcon racer.
Him and Putin fucking fist pumped at the beginning of the game. I thought that can't be a good thing. I don't know why. I'm like, that can't be the world.
Like what happens when their 2 power rings touch?
Exactly. Yeah, that's going to make like a little spark. Yeah, no, me and Forrest once we were in Scotland. We were in Glasgow, and we were doing some gigs. And then we came back drunk after the gig, and we laid on the bed, and we said, let's watch a bit of telly. We made love, and then we watched some more telly. And then
we were kissing.
And we were watching telly, and then I don't know if this is on other networks. We turned onto a very obscure network, and it was just Falcon racing from the Middle East.
Yeah. It's like there's
I didn't know it was a sport, let alone televised.
Oh my God! People losing their fucking shit, and there's just guys in the white robes.
So how does it work? Do you have?
There's a.
Do they race in a circuit or something, or do they go from one push to another?
They walk down this long tent hallway with the Falcon on their arm.
He's the guy who's like, and always also all like they all look like billionaires.
Yeah.
Who that's their hobby.
Right.
Yeah, nobody pours taking a Falcon racing.
Yeah. So they're all like oil.
Falcon racing was my way out of this life.
They're all like oil sheiks or whatever the fuck, right? They walk out with a Falcon on their arm. And then there's a guy way like a half mile away,
At least, maybe a mile.
holding like a rat or a turkey or something.
Dead.
Right, yeah, some sort of carrier.
On a piece of rope.
Yeah,
To a piece of rope.
a dead mouse or something, and he's swinging it around his head. he's there going, I got a dead mouse on the end of a rope here. And then the Falcon comes off and fucking goes for it, and then that guy goes and scurries behind into a corrugated iron shed. Where he can't get attacked.
The Falcon lands on whatever it's dead, and then he kind of scurries over, and then someone captures the Falcon and brings it back to their owner.
Yeah, and then the guy who just had him on the arm takes all the credit.
What if... God, imagine if you just happened to be nearby swinging another mouse on a rope. You just happen to be doing that.
Well, this is the thing. We were like, who the fuck watches this? And then 3 hours later, we had favourite Falcons.
We were in Scotland.
It was snowing outside. It was snowing outside, and we were watching falcon racing in the desert.
I've never been to Scotland before. We were only there one night, and people were like, "How was Scotland?" I was like, "Couldn't tell you. I was watching falcon racing the whole time." So I was like, but
we didn't go to Edinburgh as well. We just went to Glasgow, didn't we?
Yeah, just Glasgow. Yeah.
The Channel 4 in Britain used to, I think on Sunday mornings, used to show Kabaddi. Which
Kabaddi?
is an Indian game, and it's like a sort of Indian game of tag. But they have to... There's like two teams, and then there's a line in the middle, and someone has to go like across into the other zone, tag someone, and get back without being captured. And they're holding their breath while they do it, and they're saying Kabaddi constantly.
They got to hold their breath.
And they're going like Kabaddi, 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 Kabaddi.
I don't know. That seems kind of racist.
That's fake. The last part.
Straight up, Garrett. It's the most fun to watch.
I'll tell you a show that I saw while I was in Britain that was just on regular television, just on like terrestrial TV, network television. I can't remember the name of the show, and if anyone can find a clip of it and send it to us.
I think I already know what you're about to say.
Okay. What happens is it starts with there'll be a girl standing there, or a guy. It can be a girl or a guy. They alternate, right?
This was on in England when I was there, and it blew my girlfriend's mind.
My fucking mind, right? And I lived in England for years. Okay, so it starts off with there's 5 guys standing behind a wall, and the barrier lifts up ever so slightly, and you see their feet to begin with. And then she has to decide from the feet. She's like, oh, yeah, I like it. And then she has to get rid of one person because they got manky feet, right? Now, on the one that I watched, there was a guy who was an amputee, right? And so he had that little fucking pedal, that little Oscivosaurus flipper, right? And that, obviously you're not going to get rid of him first. You'll wait 2 or 3 rounds just so you don't look like a callous bitch.
So you're like, oh, it's his knees I didn't like.
Yeah. So it starts off with the feet. You get rid of someone. And then that person comes out and they go, oh, that was the person. And then they're like, oh, he was good looking. I should have left him in. Then it goes up to just underneath your penis to the top of your thighs. So you get all your legs in there, right?
The show, by the way, is called Naked Attraction.
Naked Attraction, right? And then they show a bit of that, and then they pull out another person from the legs. Then it's all dicks. It's 5 dicks naked on network television. It's only like 10 p.m. It's not like fucking 2 in the morning. And it's like, there's just like 5 dicks, and now it's down to 3. There's 3 dicks there, right? She looks at the different dicks and goes, oh, I'll get rid of that bloke, right? Then some guy with a gnarly little dick fucking gets kicked out. Wow. Then it goes to chest, and then before the head, they have to pick, right? And it is surprising when you see it because sometimes the person, here we go, we got a little clip of it here, right? They lift it up. And then there it is, and it happens the same way. So it starts off.
It happens with both male and female.
So the other option is you see like what type of bush does she have? Has she got a nice?
They show you the dicks.
They show you the dicks.
I mean, like full on, and they do close-ups, and then
they do close-ups of all the dicks,
and they try to give it like the veneer of science. Like the host will occasionally like cut to some sort of pop psychology about what theories about what makes people attracted to different parts of the body.
Oh no! Then it comes down to the last 2 guys. The last 2 guys walk out naked, right? And they stand next to her. Obviously, the guy with the little springy foot, he's gone, right? The 2 guys come out naked. And then the girl, she takes off all of her kit. She's been dressed through the whole thing. Now she's naked. They all stand there naked and chat and go, so who do you want to go on a date with? And then he goes, oh, yeah, I'll go on a date with that person. And they hug naked, and then they walk off. So if you say the British are oppressed in any way, I'm not having it. And then, like, the next round is, and it is exciting, like, watching the TV, they go, and now we're up to the tits. All right, this is a game changer.
Yeah.
This is what I'm looking at now.
Kelly hasn't stopped
Although that one
watching
is
it.
slightly anticlimactic with women because you've already just seen, like, 4 bushes.
Yeah, you've seen, like, 4 pushes, yeah.
Are you paying attention to the podcast anymore, Kelly, or you're just looking at the show?
That's a real thing. And I was watching it on TV, just, like, flabbergasted.
Yeah.
Holly
It's still
didn't
on
like
now?
it?
No, yeah, we ended up watching quite awkwardly because it was my entire family was there as well. So it was like my sister and then my mum walked in at one point. But we were just like, all right, that's just 4 dicks on the screen right now. But yeah,
It's like
it was
Channel
surprising
4
story.
or Channel 5. It's like network TV.
I think it's Channel 4.
So
And again,
for the people in America, it's like if it was on NBC.
yeah, or maybe Fox, just because Channel 4 is sort of the Fox-ish of the networks.
But it's a real thing.
Yeah, it was straight up. It's the free to air. You don't even subscribe to those channels.
I remember once, this is sort of off track, but you're talking about seeing naked people in front of your parents and stuff like that. My father, we got a video, Betamax video, and we were meant to be getting something like Labyrinth or something to come home. I don't know if it was the cheeky man in the video store or what happened, but there was a porno in there.
Like a straight up porno inside the other cassette.
You know how there's like used to be the porno section in the video store?
Right, but the porn cassette was inside the regular sleeve.
The regular sleeve, yeah. So we ordered Labyrinth. We got a porno, right? And so we put it in as kids, and we were like, oh, what's going on? My dad's like, wait, what's going on here? Like this, right? And instead of taking the porno back right away, my dad, for the first time, got encouraged by technology, and he wanted to know how to pirate that video onto another video. Because my mum had pirated a few tapes, right? We had the 2 videos with the cord.
Say, this was back when you needed, like, you had the 2 video next to each other and you had to press play on one and record on the other.
Yeah, record on the other one. You had to have a cord that did it. And my mother always used to, she was so worried because of the piracy laws that she kept a magnet in the video cabinet in case the cops ever came. That we were that we were there to swipe all the videos.
They're coming. They're breaking down the door. Get the magnet. It's like you're flushing drugs down the toilet. The same thing.
So anyway, so my dad, who had never been
very gradually trying to erase a copy of
but my dad didn't want my mother to know that the porno existed. So my eldest brother at that stage was maybe 14. And he was going, come here, Danny. What do you do with these wires to make that go on to that tape to that tape?
Yeah, that's funny. But and did he would have the magnet too for different. Yeah, it's so funny that imagine your whole family being arrested. And your mom's like, "You'll never find anything on there. It's all erased." Hey, that's a segue. I don't know. We get a lot of emails about this, Jim. So I don't know if people want updates.
Right. On T5 Transit?
Well, I mean, sure.
It's still the same.
That's not T5 Transit, but we can update T5 Transit. They're still very happy that we've mentioned them, and they're doing great. They have double the followers I have. It's really nice. But no, the chair.
What happened to the chair?
Your mum's
chair for your mom.
Oh, it's still not there. It's still
it's still not there.
It's being made in Tasmania.
By what? By a Tasmanian devil? Like, who's making the chair?
Little people. I don't know. I imagine I'd get a phone call or something when it arrives, but it was meant to be 6 weeks or something. It should be any second now. It should be either there. But my mum asked for a special wide one that they don't normally make. So, there's been...
I know, but it's a chair in the end.
Like, yeah, but it lifts you up to your feet.
No, I got that.
This isn't, this isn't just a normal chair.
That is weird, though.
Yeah, but you order furniture from fucking Pottery Barn. It takes 6 weeks.
Yeah.
8 weeks. Like, it just does. Yeah, furniture takes like 8 weeks for a new sofa or something.
Except for IKEA.
IKEA is ready to go.
Right.
Yeah.
But everything takes for fucking ever. Elm, whatever, is a little quicker. That one that's just like lamps and shit. But like, you order a brand new sofa, it takes 6 to 8 weeks.
Huh.
There you go. Bit of information for people.
All right. Well, there's your update, everybody. I guess we'll have to update you.
I
guess I've never bought a nice sofa.
I will tell you right away when my mother gets the chair. There's a lot of... She still doesn't know it's been purchased and she doesn't have to pay it back because I said that she doesn't have to make the payments until she's seated in the chair. That was the nice thing that I did.
Is she going to try and find some loophole where she like puts a blanket between her and the chair so she never truly sits on it.
I'm gonna keep busting her balls for maybe a month after she has the chair, but never give her my routing number or account number, just so she sweats it out. But officially, she's getting the chair. I don't know if she listens to this podcast. She may very well listen to the podcast.
I would think she would tell you.
No, my mother has Google alerts on me where she just sits there all day with an iPad just waiting for my name to be said. So my mother says horrible things to me like because, people complain after shows like, it wasn't as good as the last time, I thought he was shit, or what, you know what I mean? That happens after gigs, and other people say positive things, and that's just life,
Yeah.
And my mum rang me up once and goes, "Oh, I hear you didn't have a good show in Vancouver." I had a great show. Oh, several people were unhappy with it. What are you bothering me with this shit? I don't read that stuff, so I don't get upset. What the fuck are you doing that for?
Your mum is the internet comment section amplifier.
One of my favorite things she ever did was there was something like, there was like a comment section under one of our clips that was something like, I hope Jim Jefferies gets AIDS and fucking dies, right? It was something like that. And there was one person who hit the like on it. And I was like, who the fuck liked that? I was looking at it, I checked it, it was my mum.
What?
Yeah, and I think she thought that she was flagging it. That shouldn't be on the internet. I'm going to hit this button.
This big
check
mark.
She does not know how to use Facebook well, because remember she made the fan page?
She opened up a Friends of Jim Jefferies fan club.
Yeah.
Right?
She started it.
She started it, but she didn't know she started it, and then she started talking to herself within the fan club. What happened was, she went, I wonder if there's a fan club. She was typing all different combinations, and then she was like, Friends of Jim Jefferies fan club, and then it was like, do you want to start fan club? Yes, I'd like to start to be in that fan club. And then she was in it all by herself, right? And she was
had an online fan club that was just your mum.
Just me mum. And then she got into it a bit, and she started writing. Look, I'm lost here. Does anyone know how I can get out?
I think you told me to join it.
I'm getting hungry and I'm stuck inside this fan club.
Yeah, so we got some people to join it, a few friends and family members to join it, and they started chatting to Mum within the fan club. And then we started up a Carolyn Nugent fan club.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And then there's a lot of people who have commented on that.
I don't know if the Jim Jefferies Friends fan.
See, if I shouldn't really bombard the Carolyn Nugent fan club because you might get some mean comments and get a.
No, I don't.
Listeners, don't be mean if you do something.
I'm looking for the Friends of Jim Jefferies fan club, but I just found Friends fan club. A lot of people.
But I had people who were like friends of mine who had never met my mother who wrote, "I've always been a fan."
That's right. I think I joined it and I said big fan or something.
Love your work.
Yeah. Oh man, I just forgot what I was going to say.
Oh, that happens. See, this is why the podcast should be drunk all the time. Tommy Caprio, how are you? Well, how are you? How was your break? You went off to Jersey and did Jersey things. You probably played some skee ball by a pier.
Won some tickets.
Yeah. I got a bunch of tickets, and I played skeet ball. You call them skee ball?
I got skee ball.
It's not skeet ball.
It's not skeet ball.
Skeet is... I don't even know if we're allowed to say that on the podcast, to be honest with you.
That's scat, isn't it?
No, well, skeet is another term for semen.
Is it?
Is it really?
Yeah, it's an old... I don't think anyone even says skeet anymore. It was like Lil Jon back in the days.
Skeet.
Yeah, that's what he was talking about, coming.
Isn't skeet shooting what Americans call clay pigeon shooting?
So skeet Ehrlich is semen
that was
Ehrlich?
before the cum thing.
Okay. It's not just like one guy who's fully loaded, like balls at full capacity.
Yeah. just shooting
ready to shoot off, and then you just stand there with a shotgun taking it out.
With your dick.
So what did you do in Jersey? What was the Jersey activities?
I love Jersey in the summer specifically because it's just kind of fun. Like they only get 6 weeks worth of good weather.
I don't like it in the rain because it's slippery when wet.
That's a Jersey reference. Anyone know that song?
It's a Bon Jovi album, everyone. Okay. Good.
Solid.
Good.
I mean, honestly,
living on a prayer, people.
I turn into 70-year-old. My parents are in their 70s, so basically, I turn into one of them. We take a nap, we wake up, we talk about what we're going to eat for dinner.
Get super racist.
Play some Bruce Springsteen. Do you like Bruce Springsteen?
I do.
Oh, he's the
And
worst.
I didn't when I was younger because I used to think Bruce was like old people shit and it was like very 80s. Maybe because I was thinking of like that album Born USA. But as I got older and then I went to a concert, I was hooked. He
does a very good live
No
show.
one puts a show on like Bruce Springsteen.
I said it before. I'll say it again. Bruce Springsteen is the Jimmy Buffett of New Jersey.
So he's awesome.
Yeah. No. Jimmy Buffett's awesome.
Jimmy Buffett is awesome.
He stinks,
Oh,
Jimmy
I put-
Buffett.
My manager loves Bruce Springsteen. If you get him started on it, Tim.
Oh, my
Tim
God.
loves the fucking Bruce.
Jimmy Buffett's the worst. Like that's the first
Jimmy
time-
Buffett?
Yeah.
Does he do It's 5 o'clock somewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's that guy.
And Margaritaville.
He basically
And then he
invented
owns the
Trop Rock.
Margaritaville
He
restaurants as
goes,
well.
it's only 3:30, but I don't care. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. No, it's 5:30 somewhere.
Yeah. Unless Newfoundland, which has a half-hour time zone.
yeah.
And Adelaide.
Yeah, Adelaide too. Yeah.
Adelaide.
Darwin.
Adelaide has a half hour. You're through the middle of Australia.
Darwin.
We have a
as well,
half hour one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that one of the only places in the world
He's
that does
probably
that?
factoring that into his songwriting. The original draft probably said in Adelaide.
It's only 3:30, but I don't care. It's Adelaide somewhere.
I just don't like Jimmy Buffett's fans. I guess, man, they're just like I don't know. I don't like his.
They're called parrot heads.
I grew up in Florida, and all you heard was "Step on a tip top, bliggly blip blip, margarita." It's like, ugh.
But that's how I feel about Bon Jovi and Springsteen growing up. But when you get older, have you ever seen him in concert?
I don't like Bon Jovi.
Everyone always
yeah.
says that. They're like, you got to see him live, and you got to see him in this one venue. And have you heard 10th Avenue Freeze Out?
All right,
Live? Like,
let's play a game. Who is the douchiest fans in music? Not the douchiest band, but who are the shittiest fans? I'm not a big Grateful Dead people. I don't like those.
I don't know if they're
fucking-
douchey though.
Those
They're not-
tie-dyed.
they're-
They're just annoying,
they're
but
not
they're not
douchey.
douchey.
Yeah, they're like, hey man, what's up, dude? It's fucking.
The clown
The
posse,
new age Deadheads are douchey. I mean, they've been dead for like Jack Hackett.
Oh, yeah,
Jack Hackett,
Jackson.
you're a Dead fan?
Yeah, he's a huge Deadhead, but he's
yeah,
never
okay.
seen them actual live, the actual band
corrected.
live. But
Yeah.
yeah.
They're the best jam band ever,
You know,
man.
Phish fans could be the same way because there's another one who tries to be like Deadheads with that whole hippie thing, but yet they're driving around their mom and dad's SUV to concerts, you know? So it's like, at least the Deadheads were real hippies selling a grilled cheese sandwich just to get the next show, and then these Phish people come along and they're like a bunch of rich kids and their dad. And mom.
I don't like the people who watch Black Panther. Not Black Panther. What's it?
Steel?
Steel Panther, ironically.
What about
They
like
annoy me.
Taylor Swift?
okay,
they're
yeah.
not. I don't think they're very nice Taylor Swift fans. If you say something mean, they attack you.
Kids.
Yeah.
My brother's a Taylor Swift fan. There's something weird. He likes Taylor Swift, but he acts like his daughters like it. But I don't know if they're that excited about it. Keeps buying them extra concert tickets, and they're like, "Oh, all right, Dad."
And I guess I'll chaperone you if you need another chaperone.
Like he actually calls her Tay Tay. I didn't know that was a thing.
I would say people who like those bands like Korn, those like rap rock things that were around for a while.
Insane Clown Posse. We had them
Yeah,
on.
same thing. Those are
Yeah,
those
no,
bands.
I think
Juggalos?
I think they're their own thing. I don't think they're douchey. I think they're a different category of person.
I think Bruce Springsteen fans douches.
Nah, that's too
No
that's
way.
too
They're
broad
like
a category.
old people,
It's
older
also too
blue
like
collar.
this.
U2. Remember
No.
U2 used to be good, and then they
Yeah,
were like,
you two would still put on a good concert. I'm sure they got enough.
guess,
I think
but-
they
back catalog.
oversaturated the market with themselves. You know?
What you know when they lost us is when everyone had to have their album.
When it came on the iPhone.
Yeah, and everyone had it. It was just like,
Oh, yeah,
no,
yeah.
you don't do that to
It's
me.
still on my phone. Yeah, it pops back on there if you don't save when you back up.
They
your
had
phone.
but they had to bring out an app that deletes U2 from your phone. They had to you have to download a specific app that gets rid of it.
Yeah, I don't like the U2 movement.
Hashtag U2.
Killing it.
Hashtag U2. We had a few new Me Too's in the thing. Sylvester Stallone and
Sylvester Stallone.
Sylvester Stallone's got an inquiry. He's got one from like the 1980s where allegedly he had like a threesome with like a 17-year-old girl or something that's coming out now. So Sly's in the shit.
There was someone else who was suing
Jamie
back.
Foxx
Foxx,
is
right?
just suing back. Yeah, yeah.
He's countersuing.
He's countersuing. It's a little
That's
bit
a
of
people's
hearsay.
court move. That's what they always do in the people's court. That was like he's countersuing for $100 in the people's court, and it's always like
I always look at those people that are on like Judge Judy and shit like that. It's like, well, how much? Like, I don't want to sound like a rich cunt, but I mean, how much do you need $400? Like, can't you just go to work that day? Like, if you go to work that day, you'll make back half of it, or at least.
I mean,
I think it's more about the 15 minutes of fame and getting on TV, but it's an embarrassing way to be on TV.
I think people want to
And
be on
it's
TV, but I think
It's about being right though. It's about having your point proven.
Did you ever
Yeah.
see the episode of Judge Judy where Johnny Rotten was on it?
No.
Yeah, Johnny Rotten. Johnny Rotten's on a Chris Lyman or whatever his name is, right? Lydon.
John Lydon, yeah.
John Lydon. He was on an episode of Judge Judy because there was someone one of his lighting guys was suing him for unfair dismissal or something. But he was there just looking like fucking Johnny Rotten, just talking to Judge Judy.
But the way those shows work is if you lose the case, the show pays the damages.
Yeah, no one pays for anything.
So it's
the show pays for everything because it turns out it's not an official court. But you
sometimes they pay you an appearance fee as well. So you don't just make the money you win in the trial, you win your appearance fee as well.
But you sign a contract saying that you won't take this to another court.
Yeah, it's an arbitration. It's a legal arbitration.
Yeah, but it's not.
Some of these people, it's a free trip to Los Angeles they've never been.
Yeah, they put them up in a hotel. They often pay you an appearance fee, and also if you win, you get the money for winning, and if you lose, you don't have to pay that money.
That makes me think of the other show. Is it People's Court?
Yeah.
But Harvey still does it?
There's a lot of court shows.
I know, but
There's a lot.
Harvey,
Our accountants watch it all the day.
TMZ still does.
Yeah, he still does it. He still loves the job.
Stands outside and talks to people outside of people.
Do one of you guys want to sue me for $200 and see if we can get on Judge Judy? I'd love that. It'd be a great day.
Yeah,
I'll do that.
Yeah, I'll get on.
I think that'd be a good idea.
Sexual harassment?
Yeah. Like something that
Not sexual harassment. No, we can't do that.
No, something that
Have a show
I
here.
did wrong at work. I stole something from you, or you lent me your car and I smashed it up a little bit, or something.
Yeah.
I dinged it a little bit, and
you
then
said you would pay.
I said I'd pay, then I didn't pay, and then I said, well, you lent it to me in good faith.
How about you told one of us that you were good at cutting hair?
Yeah.
You weren't good at cutting hair, and then we had to go to a professional hairstylist.
But see, here's the problem. I've never tried cutting hair. What if I'm really good at cutting hair?
Well,
This is how it started.
Also, Matt, that means somebody's going to have a bad. You need to bring pictures in of a bad haircut. With a
No,
car,
but it's
you can
all right.
find
If you
car
just
with
get a
dents in it.
clipper and a vump up the back and then just clip it aside, you know what I mean?
That's okay, yeah.
Yeah, just a thing. Like you even it out afterwards. I had to go get it evened out.
We'll get our
but we gotta
professional
cancel it.
hairstylist who's on salary at this show to make it better afterwards.
What happened if we gave you a bad haircut and you had to cancel a gig because of it? Then you want the money.
No, I could. I've done all my gigs with bad haircuts. This hasn't been a thing where, oh God, I'm thinning on top. Gig cancelled.
You come out on stage, everybody, you might notice something different. Or actually the same.
I have a bad haircut.
I'm having a bad hair day. It was like that last time.
Yeah, I'm going to start just growing out my sides, just like Trump. That's what I think. Trump has had too many transplants at the back.
Yeah.
And that's why he has the long sides, because he's actually bald at the back. He's not bald on top.
Yeah.
He's bald at the back because they've taken too many hairs from the back to put on the top. So he's got hair on the top. So he grows the sides out. And
rather than a comb over, he has like a comb around.
he's a comb back. Yeah. He wraps it around the back, and that's why
Looks like a
that's why
duck's
it ducktails at the end.
Yeah, it's
Right.
it's
Him wet when he comes out of a pool, it must look hysterical.
just Donald Trump coming out of a pool would be hysterical.
Like when he comes out of a pool, it must just be hanging down to his nipples on the sides, bald at the back, and then just like over his face, down to his eyes from the front as well.
Like acidic on the side.
He only has a tie and a bathing suit on though when he comes out of a pool. Just a long red tie.
Yeah, it's the long red tie. I always think his ties look shit. Like he doesn't.
Oh, they do.
Bring back a nice pattern tie.
I feel like his suits aren't. I mean, he's got
everything
all this
back.
money. He should have better suits. I feel like and a better
Stuck
tie.
in the 80s. He still thinks a big suit will hide that he's fat.
Or you think also shoulder pads are a power move and all that type of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, we've really talked about nothing.
Yeah, but
Does anyone have anything they want to advertise?
I feel like you should do a World Cup predictions.
World Cup predictions, everyone. Germany, I believe, will win the World Cup. This is at the beginning of the World Cup. I believe that Germany. France.
Who's your dark horse?
France is my second bet. Dark horse.
Well, Spain are in with a good chance, but they just sacked their manager. They've got through some weird stuff.
Okay. Well, look. Tomorrow it's Spain versus Portugal, and you'll know a lot more after that game about that one because Portugal aren't shabby either.
Argentina might be in with a chance.
Argentina's always good. You know, anyone with Messi is fine. And fucking the Egyptian guy, they reckon is back, but his shoulder's still fucked up, and he may play tomorrow or whatever. So who knows?
Mo Salah. Yeah,
Mo Salah, yeah.
I love him because Liverpool's I root for in the Premier League, but then that guy Ramos took him out in the.
But
Champions
my
League final.
my dark horse, and I always have to go from England at 50-1.
Yeah, is that what the odds are currently?
Yeah, it's them and Mexico,
I
sort
should
of
have
the
put
same.
$1 on it or something.
Yeah, sort of 50-1. England, your Germany's like 3-1.
Right.
Right, so it's very short odds on them.
I think
England won it once in the 60s and gets still every year has like this glimmer of belief.
Yeah, yeah. Living in England during the World Cup is like they talk about that 66 World Cup. Now, what I watched a documentary on that. England won the World Cup and then they just lost it a week later. When I say they lost it, they lost the trophy.
Oh yeah, it got nicked.
It got stolen. They put it in a museum for a day.
Discovered by a dog.
Yeah, it was discovered by a dog. Right? It was put in a trophy cabinet. Right? And they went, oh, this is bulletproof glass. But they didn't realize the wall behind it was really thin. Someone just got through it, fucking Shawshank Redemption style. Took it out the other end.
I'm choosing Belgium as my winner.
All right.
And dark horse, United States.
But every the Brits get it, or the English get excited every year as well because the English Premier, or every 4 years, because the English Premier League is full of the best players in the world, but they're all foreign best players.
Yeah, but they never win. They never win the championship. The championship league. They
close.
I think the Spanish league's stronger.
No, but I'm telling you, if they didn't dislocate Mo Salah's shoulder within the first half of that game, it's a better game. And the goalkeeper lost his mind for Liverpool. He let two of the worst goals in ever that you'll ever see. And so they had a real shot this year. But
this is my prediction for Australia: 2 losses and a draw against Peru.
All right.
Peru is going to be at my actual dark horse. The United States isn't even in it. But
I'm
just
actually
saying.
rooting for someone from South America. I think Argentina. That's my pick.
yeah, but they're good. They have a shot.
They have a shot, and I think Croatia is a dark horse.
I'm Croatian. I should root for them.
Croatia's got a whole heap of Australian players.
I'll be rooting for England, obviously, because that's the rule. But then I think Mexico's my second team, just because we're so close.
This is how I'm doing it. I'm going Australia until Australia are knocked out. Then I'm going over to England.
Yep.
Until England are knocked out. That might be the same time.
There's a very good chance.
Very good time. It might be the same time. And then I'm off to Mexico because I live in LA and I love me Mexicans.
It'll be a good time here.
And I want to fucking go into pubs with crazy Mexicans losing their shit.
Yeah, if you're watching a Mexican
Normal Mexicans, you're not all crazy.
Yeah, Luis is here. Here we have a real live Mexican in studio. Right?
Yeah, they'll be going nuts. I mean, like
A real life Mexican. How did you find one?
Yeah. Getting down to Echo Park.
It's really kind of sad that we can't even enjoy this.
I also don't think Mexicans are watching in pubs, by the way. Is that a like?
Look, I think
watching in bars.
I think
bars. Yeah, but a pub. I think of like an Irish pub.
I think America should follow the team that knocked you out of the World Cup. You should all be following Panama.
Oh yeah.
That's
I would follow
embarrassing.
Italy, but they're not even in it. Imagine how it would have.
Yeah, Italy's not. Oh, yeah, I forgot you're.
Italy and Holland. The Netherlands also
Holland's amazing because Holland was always my jam as well. I loved Holland.
And then the next World Cup, Qatar will be in it.
Yeah, and then what's the World Cup after that? And then it's America. There's another one.
We got it. We got it back, baby.
North America, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be
in Mexico and in Canada as well.
Man, we'll have some good times.
That'll be good.
It's going to be good. My son's going to be a good age. I'm going to go see the games in LA, and then I'll try to map my gigs around fucking where Australia's playing. It's going to be my routing.
Oh yeah, you got enough time to set that up.
Yeah, I got enough time to say that. Wherever Australia is where I'll be performing.
Although those gigs, like the group stages,
right?
tend to they work out.
Although I plan on retiring from stand-up before then.
Well, you could be doing some like karaoke gigs or.
Yeah, that'll be my comeback World Cup tour.
You'll be done by the time the World Cup comes to the North America.
8 years from now.
No, it's 26, 12 years from now.
No, 8 years.
12.
8.
Oh, it's 2026. Yeah.
Oh, 8.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'll still be going.
Yeah.
Oh, my son's going to be a lot younger than I thought. Okay. Oh, all right. You know,
13, 14, somewhere.
8 years. Yeah, I'll be tipping 50. I'll be getting up there going, who remembers when America had guns? I did a thing about it.
Who remembers America? Do you remember America?
Remember the Jim Jefferies show? And then they'll go, it lasted 34 episodes.
Yeah, wow, we're almost done.
Yeah, something's about to go down.
I think it's going to be the Judge Judy thing.
I'm going to ambient tweet.
All right. I think they're good. That was a little nice bonus podcast on our hiatus. We will be back next week, Wednesday. I don't know what date next Wednesday is. It's the 20th.
We should
June 20th.
Plug Tommy's podcast.
Should we?
Yeah.
All right, you can plug me.
Well,
Tommy's podcast
Tommy
is.
Caprio.
There you go, Tommy.
What's your podcast name again? It's a sports one.
8-Ball Sports Show.
8-Ball
Yeah.
Sports Show.
And I'm plugging Probably Science. You can listen to the Forest Shore and or the Jim Jefferies episodes of that. It's my science podcast.
I do a cheaper version of Tommy's podcast called The Gram.
Called the stepped on dime bag.
The gram and then trying him on the phone for a while.
Please.
The licking the top of the toilet lid.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm scraping stuff off this mirror. It may be dust.
Podcast. Please watch Poor Decisions. You can find links to it on iTunes and Amazon, on my Twitter or Facebook at Forrest Shaw. And that's it for us. If there's a topic you want us to talk about, tweet us at Jeffrey Show. Also, remember what I said at the beginning, remix versions of our show's theme song. Please try that. We'll be putting that up on Twitter. And then please subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And shout out to Debbie Lake. Big fan. S&P. All right, guys.
Good luck, Socceroos. Good night, Australia.
This has been a Comedy Central podcast.
That might be in with
Argentina's always good. You know, anyone with Messi is fine. And fucking the Egyptian guy, they reckon, is back, but his shoulder's still fucked up, and he may play tomorrow or whatever. So who knows?
Mo Salah. Yeah,
Mo Salah. Yeah.
I love him because Liverpool's I root for in the Premier League, but then that guy Ramos took him out.
But
Champions League final.
my dark horse, and I always have to go from England at 50-1.
Yeah, is that what the odds are currently?
Yeah, it's them and Mexico,
I
sort
should
of
have
the
put
same.
$1 on it or something.
Yeah, sort of 50-1. England, your Germany's like 3-1.
Right.
Right, so it's very short odds on them.
I think
England won it once in the 60s and gets still every year has like this glimmer of belief.
Yeah, living in England during the World Cup is like they talk about that 66 World Cup. Now, what I watched a documentary on that. England won the World Cup and then they just lost it a week later. When I said they lost it, they lost the trophy.
Oh yeah, it got nicked.
It got stolen. They put it in a museum for a day.
Discovered by a dog.
Yeah, it was discovered by a dog. Right? It was put in a trophy cabinet. Right? And they went, oh, this is bulletproof glass. But they didn't realize the wall behind it was really thin. Someone just got through it, fucking Shawshank Redemption style. Took it out the other end.
I'm choosing Belgium as my winner.
All right.
And dark horse, United States.
But the Brits get it, or the English get excited every year as well because the English Premier, or every 4 years, because the English Premier League is full of the best players in the world, but they're all foreign best players.
Yeah, but they never win. They never win the championship. The championship league. They
close.
I think the Spanish league's stronger.
No, but I'm telling you, if they didn't dislocate Mo Salah's shoulder within the first half of that game, it's a better game. And the goalkeeper lost his mind for Liverpool. He let 2 of the worst goals in ever that you'll ever see. And so they had a real shot this year. But
this is my prediction for Australia: 2 losses and a draw against Peru.
All right.
Peru is going to be at my actual dark horse. The United States isn't even in it. But
I'm
just
actually
saying.
rooting for someone from South America. I think Argentina. That's my pick.
yeah, but they're good. They have a shot.
They have a shot, and I think Croatia is a dark horse.
I'm Croatian. I should root for them.
Croatia's got a whole heap of Australian players.
I'll be rooting for England, obviously, because that's the rule. But then I think Mexico's my second team, just because we're so close.
This is how I'm doing it. I'm going Australia until Australia are knocked out. Then I'm going over to England.
Yep.
Until England are knocked out. That might be the same time.
There's a very good chance.
Very good time. It might be the same time. And then I'm off to Mexico because I live in LA and I love me Mexicans.
It'll be a good time here.
And I want to fucking go into pubs with crazy Mexicans losing their shit.
Yeah, if you're watching a Mexican
Normal Mexicans, you're not all crazy.
Yeah, Luis is here. We have a real live Mexican in studio, right?
Yeah, they'll be going nuts. I mean, like,
A real life Mexican. How did you find one?
yeah. Getting down to Echo Park.
It's really kind of sad that we can't even enjoy this.
I also don't think Mexicans are watching in pubs. By the way, is that a like?
Look, I think
watching in bars.
Bars. Yeah, but a pub. I think of like an Irish pub.
I think America should follow the team that knocked you out of the World Cup. You should all be following Panama.
Oh, yeah.
That's
I would love
embarrassing.
Italy, but they're not even in it. Imagine how it would have.
Yeah, Italy's not. Oh, yeah, I forgot you're.
Italy and Holland. The Netherlands also
Holland's amazing because Holland was always my jam as well. I loved Holland.
And then the next World Cup, Qatar will be in it.
Yeah, and then what's the World Cup after that? And then it's America. There's another one.
We got it. We got it back, baby.
North America, right?
Yeah, so
they're
it's going to
playing
be
in Mexico and in Canada as well.
Man, we'll have some good times.
That'll be good.
It's going to be good. My son's going to be a good age. I'm going to go see the games in LA, and then I'll try to map my gigs around fucking where Australia's playing. It's going to be my routing.
Oh yeah, you got enough time to set that up.
Yeah, I got to say that. Wherever Australia is where I'll be performing.
Although those gigs, like the
2026,
group stages,
right?
tend to they work out. Which,
Although I plan on retiring from stand-up before then.
well, you could be doing some like karaoke gigs or
Yeah, that'll be my comeback World Cup tour.
You'll be done by the time the World Cup comes to the North America?
8 years from now.
No, it's 26, 12 years from now.
No, 8 years.
12.
8.
Oh, it's 2026. Yeah.
Oh, 8.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I'll still be going.
Yeah.
Oh, my son's going to be a lot younger than I thought. Okay. Oh, all right. Yeah, no,
13, 14, somewhere.
8 years. Yeah, I'll be tipping 50. I'll be getting up there going, who remembers when America had guns? I did a thing about it.
Who remembers America? Do you remember America?
Remember the Jim Jefferies show? And then they'll go, it lasted 34 episodes.
Yeah, wow, we're almost done.
Yeah, something's about to go down.
I think it's going to be the Judge Judy thing.
I'm going to ambient tweet.
All right. I think they're good. That was a little nice bonus podcast on our hiatus. We will be back next week, Wednesday. I don't know what date next Wednesday is. It's the 20th.
We should
June 20th.
Plug Tommy's podcast.
Should we?
Yeah.
All right, you can plug me.
Tommy's podcast
Tommy
is...
Caprio.
There you go, Tommy.
What's your podcast name again? It's a sports one.
8-Ball Sports Show.
8-Ball
Yeah.
Sports Show.
And I'm plugging Probably Science. You can listen to the Forest Shore and or the Jim Jefferies episodes of that. It's my science podcast.
I do a cheaper version of Tommy's podcast called The Gram.
Called the stepped-on dime bag.
The gram and then trying him on the phone for a while.
Please.
The licking the top of the toilet lid.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm scraping stuff off this mirror. It may be dust.
Podcast. Please watch Poor Decisions. You can find links to it on iTunes and Amazon, on my Twitter or Facebook at Forrest Shaw. And that's it for us. If there's a topic you want us to talk about, tweet us at Jeffrey Show. Also, remember what I said at the beginning, remix versions of our show's theme song. Please try that. We'll be putting that up on Twitter. And then please subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And shout out to Debbie Lake. Big fan. S&P. All right, guys.
Good luck, Socceroos. Good night, Australia.
This has been a Comedy Central podcast.
Trying him on the phone for a while.
Please.
The licking the top of the toilet lid.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm scraping stuff off this mirror. It may be dust.
Podcast. Please watch Poor Decisions. You can find links to it on iTunes and Amazon, on my Twitter or Facebook at Forrest Shaw. And that's it for us. If there's a topic you want us to talk about, tweet us at Jeffrey Show. Also, remember what I said at the beginning, remix versions of our show's theme song. Please try that. We'll be putting that up on Twitter. And then please subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, Stitcher, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And shout out to Debbie Lake. Big fan. S&P. All right, guys.
Good luck, Socceroos. Good night, Australia.
This has been a Comedy Central podcast. This has been a Comedy Central podcast. Comedy Central podcast.